guys, this is Brady here from innerstrengthcheck.com, home of arts, riffs and hobbies for mental health. You can probably hear my goddamn computer going off like a jet engine because of this program and because of OBS. So I tried streaming this before, it didn't work. So look, I'm just going to try and give it a go today. So what I'm doing is I'm just recording. This is a program called Dungeon Alchemist, which is on Steam. The cool thing about Dungeon Alchemist is that it uses quote-unquote AI to like generate rooms and stuff, which is pretty cool. I actually have my first session for my campaign, which I've had to delay due to, we're talking about hobbies, riffs and mental health stuff. It's been a pretty fucked week, to be honest. Sorry, this isn't a kid's show. I'm not going to not swear. Anyway. So what I thought I'd do is just give a bit of a demo of using this program, and specifically I just wanted to create a little bit of a scene. So in my campaign for Forbidden Lands, which is an RPG, tabletop RPG based on the Year Zero engine by Free League or Fria Ligen, I'm sure I pronounced that poorly in Swedish. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try my best to sort of recreate a scene in my mind that I've got in my mind. First of all, before I do that, I actually just want to show the generation tools for the rooms. It's pretty cool. So if we go here, you've got very specific sort of tabs here for rooms. Now I'm going to see if I can find one that's more like a generic tent or something. So, for instance, and the other thing is, one of the downsides of Dungeon Alchemist is at the moment it doesn't have circular rooms, it just has square rooms. But let's just go with an example, shall we? Let's see here. I'm just going to see if there's anything here that fits the scene, because the scene I'm thinking of is more of basically it's on the outskirts of a city named Shadowthrone, and it's kind of a unofficial refugee camp / place where they stick people who aren't welcome. So let's just go with an example, hey? So if we look here, I'm just obviously making a square. Let's make it 6x6. And you hit that. And what it does is so this is pretty cool. So it auto-populates all the objects and things like that, which is cool. When you click on the room itself, though, which I believe I need to go to a different tool. Yeah, so you can edit the room itself. Remove rooms, edit room. So what I can do is, for instance, I can regenerate it, which is pretty cool. Let's see how it's got. This might actually be useful in this scene, but there's also some pretty cool little features here. So this is the hovel example, yeah? So the fog crossing is a bit more of like a tent city, but I just wanted to demonstrate this. And by the way, I'm using a very small grid just so it's not as resource heavy, but it's pretty cool because you can go in and you can actually interact with objects, which is pretty cool. Oh, we have a corpse. Okay, apparently we're in Pompeii, and look, there's lighting and stuff like that I haven't really sort of played around with, but that's sort of the gist of it. So you can actually build up entire dungeons and things of that nature using this program. So what I might do is I'll actually generate a new map. So if we go to new map here, you can actually define, I'm going to make this a little bit, let's go 60x60. It's probably going to warn me, hey dude, like, careful. Now, the fog crossing goes across a river. The thing with this program is it likes to put that river in the middle. But look, let's just widen it a bit. It'll probably warn me, and I'll say, whatever. Weather, no weather. Okay, so they actually have like print yourself, so you can even order a kind of like print on demand through DTRPG with their physical, how you can order physical books. There is also the option to print this yourself, which is pretty cool. And then there's print delivery, and then yeah, you've even got, you just send it off, which is cool. So let's go with a grasslands map, and it's giving me a warning, so this may stutter a bit. This is gonna be funny if this stuff's up. It'll do it, it'll just struggle to do it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's struggling. Oh, this isn't the best advertisement for this. Look, my computer is not the greatest at the best of times. It's about 5 or 6 year old, so let's just go back into it. Alright. And apologies for hearing my desktop fan in the background, my laptop fan. But, alright, let's give this another go. It may well be that because I'm running something through OBS as well. So you can see here, right? Now, what I'll do is I'll generate a new map. I'm going to make the elevation, I'll see what hills is like. No, let's not do that, because last time it didn't like us. So let's just go with 60 by, maybe even 50 by 50. Let's do 50 by 50. Alright. And the thing with this program is you can scale the buildings up and down to suit, like in terms of size, which is really handy, because if you get a scene and the rooms that are generated aren't quite up to sort of your theater of the mind. Okay, so this is a little bit better and a little bit more in alignment with my kind of theory crafting of it, but not exactly, but that's all right. Look, there's lots of tools and stuff to play around with things on the left hand side there, so let's just go ahead and start with abandoned ruins. So we could do like a hovel. That might actually be useful. There's some objects which I will put in. Okay, so castle, kennels. You know what, some kennels would actually kind of suit this flavor wise. Let's just go over here, and again, there is an update coming out in June which has apparently it's going to have circular rooms, which is going to make this a little bit more, I guess, sensical. You can just, the cool thing is you can really just keep, it's nice with the object placement. I don't find that the object placement is too bad, that I don't feel like I have to sort of muck around with it too much. Another handy tool, so because this is on the outskirts, I'm not really needing walls. So what we can do is go here, and we can go show open sky, show ceiling in this room. Okay, edit room shape. Where are we? Okay. There is actually an option here to, okay. So we click on the room, and then I don't want the walls, yeah? So I can get rid of them. And then try and refresh it. Yeah, okay. Doors. Apparently it needs doors. Kennels. Alright, so because I've picked castle kennels, let's go with one of those random rooms before, shall we? I think we'll go with hovel. And we're not going to give it walls or windows. Apparently it's got to have doors. Let's see what happens if we try and create one without doors. Let's put that in the same space, and as you can see, it flattens the terrain out for you with it. Okay, so that's a little bit more aligning to the vision I had in my head. And you can rotate the rooms around. So this is actually a pretty neat little example. I like this. This is good. Look, it's a little out of place, but come on, it's tabletop. We kind of have to use theater of the mind here. So you can actually do things like resize it. Edit room shape. Let's... Ooh, I actually haven't seen edit room shape before. So let's see what happens when we do that. Edit room shape. Okay. So there's some controls I'm forgetting about here, but you do have the option to basically rotate either objects or the whole room itself. And if you want to get rid of it, you just go goodbye. Boom, and it's gone. So they've changed a few things since I was last in here. Now I'm thinking for a kind of, I guess it's sort of a mix between a mercenary camp, a refugee camp, and just a general, outskirts of a town outside the walls. So maybe there's going to be something like, maybe not an earth and dig. Maybe there's a rock. No, not a rock dig. A crypt. Let's go with, okay, tent shop. That actually kind of fits the flavor of things. So let's have a look-see here, shall we? Because I've generated without walls, it's got objects there. But you can always basically just say, hey man, could we get rid of those? So let's go this one, AI settings, let's click that room, let's generate this again. Okay, that's pretty cool. And that is more in alignment with the market square for this town. But that's all right, nevertheless. So what I can do here is basically go... So we've got that, which is cool. Now, if I go down here to tokens, there's objects. So your usual RPG business, yeah. There's also effects, there's overlays. I'm gonna go ahead, let's make the lighting, because the characters are coming back at evening. So let's go tent. So this place, there we go. So what I'm envisioning, basically, and you can resize these, so to fit that a little more to scale, and then you can rotate. So let's put in some tents here. It's pretty intense. Yeah. That sort of thing there. You can copy and paste, that kind of thing. So look, that's your usual sort of tail spire style options. I just really like the fact that if you wanted to generate a room, and you can, if you sort of, I don't like what the positioning of that. So it's not fixed. You can actually kind of edit objects on the fly with this. Might be a little kind of annoying at times, but there we go. Let's see, let's change that. You can change the hue of lighting. So there's a lot of different effects, huh? So that there and that there. But what if I were to say, let's just step outside of my campaign at the moment. What if I was to say across the river from the fog crossing is actually some sort of dungeon, right? Well, let's get fun with it. All right. So, let's say that there is an adventure site across the road, and it's actually haunted by the undead. So what I would do here is I would look at this and maybe editing, clear the terrain, give it some room. Then we go over here and let's say it's a crypt. So let's go burial chamber. And this is where the fun starts. So it nicely interconnects the rooms, or it should do. So we've got a bit of a crypt there, a bit of a tight space. Let's say that the burial chamber itself is connected to a larger chapel. And, okay, so that needs to be resized, doesn't it? That's me. Yeah. But what you can do is, if you want to add additional, you can basically extend it out like that. Just trying to see. So we had burial chamber. You can just sort of. It's a bad example. You can just do this, yeah, and just go bang. Okay. Very not. So I can just delete this room. Just gonna start again. So burial chamber. Yeah, let's actually make the burial chamber a bit wider. Let's make it 10 by 8. Okay. So that's pretty cool. We can add all sorts of objects in there. And what I'll do is I'll get you guys just to breeze through at the end here. This is pretty cool. You can populate like different dungeon rooms. So let's just say there's a room over here. Yep. And let's say that there is a hallway then that connects to some cells. And just for the purpose of this video, let's just say there's a larger great hall here. Okay, so now if I were to go over here, what I can do is I can add some doors. So if I go to, let's see, I go here, you can open and close the door, which is pretty cool. Now you can also copy and paste these. You can move them. So I'll add that there. You can get different sort of directions and designs. Okay, so I've forgotten the hotkey for this. I'm so organized, hey. This is your brain on ADHD, people. So I go mausoleum, door. So new objects, decorations, and also there's heaps of custom content, which is cool. Place doors. So if I go like mausoleum, there we go. You can favorite stuff, all that kind of good stuff. So if we want to make this kind of interconnecting, now you can see you've got a nice sort of skeleton of a dungeon design. That was a bit of a stuff up over there on my end, but let's sort of, yeah, you've got some, you know, let's chuck this guy over here, chuck this dude over here, you know, a couple of gnolls for an encounter. And these can and will animate if you sort of want them to. So black smoke, burning black smoke. Let's say there's a sort of bit of a fire over here. A little bit of necrotic fog. Yeah. So it's really cool, the sort of different things you can do. And as you can see, it's animated. So, ooh, electric arcs. Ooh. So that's a bit of an ominous room there, isn't it? So we go to tokens. Let's say there's a couple of goblins in here. Yeah. There's some hero tokens, that sort of thing. I've downloaded a bunch. So these are more sort of like STLs. There's some NPCs. There's not a huge selection at the moment, but to be honest, neither is Tailspire, and Tailspire requires Hero Forge and stuff that. So let's just say that's our hero. All right. So how this would look. Doing a bit of a test scene, and you can obviously camera and recording. Let's just say that door's locked, but if it wasn't, hey, it's pretty cool. And I'm sure my frame rate's starting to struggle a bit now. It's a little unintuitive. Again, there's all sorts of mapping and keybinds, but let's just, so while you're running a campaign, you can actually take the players through room by room, like this, describe it, and they won't be able to, see over the roof of the structure. You can go through, and this just really helps with theatre of the mind, or makes it very interactive. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's say, okay, you enter the room, yada yada. It saves you kind of time and effort as the GM in having to describe things too, because it's all here. Hey buddy. So look, that's just a bit of a brief demo. This is my first time using OBS. I don't even know if this is gonna work or if my computer is going to eat shit, but hey. So for my players, when I see you tonight, I may have a bit more of this fog crossing thing done, but I gotta go do some other GM homework. But let's just save that. So you can export it. You can export it as JPEG. You can export it as video, which is kind of cool. So that's useful for video editing, that sort of thing. Look, this isn't the least priciest program out there on the market. And my advice would be, this is very bare bones, but if you're a time poor and energy poor GM like me, so for me, I have ADHD and ASD and often some mental health issues as well, and I find that virtual tabletops such as Foundry, Roll20, Tailspire, and even the RPG Engine, while they're getting better with those generation tools, it can take hours upon hours. And this is just, as you've seen, like, what did I do? I clicked a few room buttons, and now I have a bit of an encounter going, and you can add objects to taste. I will do some more thought out kind of more thought out stuff. Me words good. But yeah, essentially that is Dungeon Alchemist in a nutshell. So on my channel, because I'm having issues with Twitch and streaming and my internet, probably gonna err towards more recording these kinds of videos. But if you're interested in seeing some more tabletop style content, because at innerstrengthcheck.com we've been pretty music focused. I've gotten a couple of new contributors writing some metal reviews, music reviews, pieces, that sort of thing. But I do actually want to kind of expand a lot more on my tabletop content. So if you do want to see some more demonstrations and would like me to come back when I've had a bit more of a play of it, because I've been away from this program for a while. So if you wanted to see me sort of in action, developing kind of more multi-level dungeons or different scenes or that sort of thing, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to upload that. And for my players, as long as there's no spoilers, and there's no spoiler here today, guys, because I'm not putting a freaking crypt in the bush where the bushland is outside of fog crossing, okay? So you won't need to worry about this, but you'll need to worry about a version of this in future. Not this exact thing, and it may or may not be RNG'd. I may add some little things in there. So, innerstrengthcheck.com. You can find me on all manner of socials, Twitch, YouTube, obviously, Instagram, Facebook. Simply search Inner Strength Check for any of those. It's the same handle. Thanks, peace, love, and grindcore. Cheers.